Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's energy update with me, Rebecca. For those of you who celebrate, happy holidays, and I hope each of you have the most wonderful week ahead. We have some really beautiful themes this week around the authentic path, around success, abundance, around us really protecting our peace and coming to this next stage in our evolution and in our journey. And it's very exciting as we close off this year to be seeing such a close of cycles that aren't serving and this beautiful opening and emergence of this new direction that a lot of us are learning and taking. So I am excited to dive into this week's reading. So let's do it. So the first things that I was hearing was success and abundance, which amazing. Amazing first couple words to be hearing as we enter this week. Success and abundance. So taking care of the path you'll lead. Now this was super interesting. Next what channeled was disruption and noise. Grateful gifts from above. Knowledge is power, and now that knowledge has become yours. Divine timing, two paths unfolding before your feet. Choose wisely. Recognition deserves to come to the light. You deserve to come to the light. Seeing all the things you've ignored to bring them to full sun. Changing your word to make you rise from unbinding loyalty to steadfast peace. You deserve to protect your peace now. Now you will finally see what all of this was really about. So let's pause here, okay? So amazing channeling. Really interesting, and I'm going to break down all of this for you. So really coming into this new phase in our lives of success and abundance, and they're kind of just showing me like this cloth being removed, this gauze being removed, where it's like, oh, there's the surprise, there's what's under there. And it's almost like you're getting that curtain pulled back moment where you're finally seeing things for as they really are. And a lot of us, this surprise has been the success, has been the abundance that's actually been there all along. So they're showing me the eyes opening this week to gratitude, to blessings, to the goodness in our lives that perhaps we just could not see before. And it might feel like that. It might feel like a complete surprise, like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that was there. I had no idea that I'd been sitting on this whole time. And they're showing me that the deterrent was our distractions. It was this disruption of our peace. It was this fear. It was these programs, the self-talk, the way we were perceiving life. And this is rapidly changing. And this is the gift. This is the knowledge that you are being given. And this equates to your power, because they're really showing me now that you've found this knowledge, this understanding of, wow, my perception, my beliefs shape my world, shape my reality. You now see the power you hold. And it's funny because a lot of us logically know that. We logically know we create our reality. But this week, in the past few weeks, this truth has been landing in us to really see our creative powers, okay? Our manifestation power, and how it all stems from those thoughts, those belief systems of what we truly believe about our world and about ourselves, and what frequency we are staying in because of those beliefs. So they're showing me this changing, this, it's really interesting. They're showing me like your hand reaching into your own energy fields and you're playing with that energy. You're like, what if I just shift this? What if I just play this? What if I just, make this little adjustment to my frequency? What's then going to shape and happen and echo out? And what then could I then create with this universe and with my world? And it's this inspiration. They're kind of showing me like the scientist and the excitement, the inventor, where it's like, oh, what is this? And the eyes being opened, the perspective being expanded here. So this is the knowledge that we are coming into, which is our power, okay? We are opening our eyes to our own power. Now, I know we've talked about this the past few weeks, but it's really, really landing this week. And that's why we're coming to this awareness of the gifts that we have, and we're becoming grateful. We're becoming grateful not only for the abundance that's already there, that we're finally seeing, that we're finally grasping onto, because that's what we're changing in our vibration and in our inner worlds, is we're becoming grateful. We're becoming more appreciative. We're becoming more this blueprint for unconditional love, where we're like, this is now my foundation. So that's changing your world. That's changing your frequency. That's already beginning to attract so much new and so much goodness into your life. And you're finally realizing you deserve this, and you always have. It was only those beliefs, those outside noises and disruptions that were blocking you from this flow and from the truth. So you're finally stripping away the lies to see what the truth truly is. So claiming this power, claiming this knowledge, and it's changing everything. So we're trusting the timing now. We're learning to have gratitude for the journey, because, hey, that journey, you learned a lot. You've grown a lot. You've realized, wow, I was a slave to those perspectives. Wow, I was a slave to my own unworthiness, my undeservingness, these feelings of lack and suffering. I let those rule me. But I'm not going to let that rule me anymore. And they're showing me the karmic ties, okay? So some of you, this isn't as simple as I'm making it out to be, because once again, we can say the words like, wow, I've let this rule me. Wow, I've done that. But it's so much more complicated than that. And they're also saying, like, give yourself grace, because yes, we've now let this truth land. And yes, it might seem like a very simple truth, but it was complicated. As we know, real life is complicated. So sometimes we couldn't see that full picture because we were so drowned in those false beliefs. We're so programmed from the very beginning of our lives, perhaps, to believe these certain things about ourselves. And we lived in that suffering. So we only had the knowledge that was available to us at that time. And to also give yourself that pat on the shoulder that you made it through all of that. You untangled the knot, because it might have looked very messy. And that's what they're kind of showing me, is this big knot, almost like matted together. And you had to go thread by thread to untangle it, to actually see the source, to make everything smooth again, to make everything right again. So you have to give yourself immense credit, okay? Now, this is where it was really going into like recognition, okay? Recognition, coming to the light, okay? So not only from the path forward, but because of who you are, okay? So you're coming to this recognition of who you've become, what you've built your life into. And it's almost like this immense pride comes in, because it's like, wow, I've literally become the person I have been fighting to be. I've literally become the person I've been trying to be, growing to be all my life. And here I am. I'm at this pivotal moment in my journey where I can recognize myself and go, wow, I did it. I made it. And you're bringing all these parts of you, the parts of your past, the parts of yourself, even the shadowed parts, and you're bringing them into the sun for recognition and love, perhaps for the first time. Even those imperfections, even all those mistakes you made, they all led you here. So now you honor them. Now you recognize them. Now you let them have a voice and go, wow, all of that led me here. And here I am. This whole version of me, this part of me that I didn't even know existed is now here. And they're showing me this, once again, the veil being removed to your innocence, to how you've always been deserving, how you've always been loved, how you've always been right? Because so many of us have believed we're wrong. But you're getting this illumination. You were right. There was nothing ever wrong with you. And you have been deserving of the world this entire time. You just couldn't see it. But now you can. And this influx of love is coming into your life because you're finally willing to see it, because you're finally willing to be deserving of it, because you're finally allowing yourself to believe it and take it, claim it, because so many of us have pushed that love away, the blessings away, the good things away. We've sabotaged, we've done all the things because, oh no, I'm not ready yet. I'm not deserving yet. I'm not good enough yet. I haven't done this, this, and this yet. I'm not this, this, this. But now you've changed your mind. And it's so amazing. So it was interesting because they were showing me like the divine timing here and how that's played a critical role. You're at this pivotal point. You're ready to now take this step, and the timing is all aligned. And you have two paths unfolding before your feet. So this is going to be unique to every single one of us, what those paths are. And maybe this is in an avenue of authenticity, right? Maybe this is a new job. Maybe this is, your life path. Maybe this is a move. This could be whatever this is for you, whatever comes up this week, these choices. Maybe it's more inner choices of I'm going to choose the old familiar way, or I'm going to choose the new way of living my life. And break it down to that simplicity, because they're really saying whatever choices come before you, whatever two paths lie before you now, choose the one where you're willing. And it was interesting because this is just coming through now, where you have a willing heart, where you're like, you know what, I might not know what's down that path, but I'm willing. I'm willing to see what's down there. I'm willing to go look at that. I'm willing to explore. I'm willing to take a chance and to take a leap. And it's funny because they're kind of making me feel my throat chakra right now. So the authentic path, okay? What aligns with your truth? So whatever path aligns with your truth is the right one. Whatever path feels like, hey, might be a little scary, might be a little unknown, I might need to have courage and faith, but I'm willing to see where this leads, that's the one to go for this week. So choose to take a risk and choose the path of peace as well, because they're kind of showing me the importance of this. So we're getting into this recognition, we're getting into this integrous life where we're living very aligned. we're like, I deserve love, I deserve this, I deserve worthiness, I deserve it all. And we're really being very, very selective is the word in how we're living and how we're going to live. And so these choices, these paths that are before us, we need to make sure they're aligned. So however you proceed, you are getting what you need. You have self-respect, you have healthy boundaries, and you have peace, okay? So they're really making sure that every choice we make now is reflective of this person we fought very hard to become, okay? And we're stepping into this frequency of worthiness. So once more, that's going to change your life. It's going to invoke different choices, new decisions, because we're not going to go back to that fear-based space anymore of what if this happens or what if this doesn't work out. We're like, no, I know I deserve this, so that's what I'm going to choose. And it's amazing, this shift in energy, and this, they're showing me the wheels turning now, where maybe they were stagnant, maybe they were stuck. And now the wheels are beginning to get in motion. It's like, oh, actually, yeah, let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere. And it's like this movement that is now taking place, which is so exciting. So if you've been feeling stuck, it's because your choices have been keeping you stuck. They've been keeping you safe. They've been keeping you in the familiar. You need to take a leap, my friend. You need to allow yourself to make a different choice. So this can look like small steps. This can look like little steps. And they're just like, remember, not everything has to be done all at once. And divine timing is at play. So they're showing me multiple options and choices before you. And you're feeling into each one and going, what feels authentic to me? What feels good to me? What am I willing to do? And what are my non-negotiables now? Because they're actually showing me a lot of this is coming in for boundaries, okay? So this is where things are changing, because it says changing your word to make you rise from unbinding loyalty to steadfast peace. Now, when this came through, I was like, wow, this is amazing, because once again, it's showing the power of our word and what we dedicate ourselves to. So when we have that expression, I give you my word, a lot of us claim that as a loyalty, where it's like, I've given my word, so I'm bound by this. I am loyal to this. I've given this dedication commitment. But then they're kind of going, you're changing your word from being loyal to perhaps things that are no longer resonating, perhaps to relationships that are no longer resonating, to ideologies that are no longer resonating. And we're starting to realize how that loyalty might not actually be working out for us. It might not be in our highest good. And we're learning to go, oh, I can change my word. I can change my commitment, because I don't want to commit to the things that don't fill me anymore. And we're changing this perspective of, I need to be loyal to a fault. I need to be steadfast to this because I've done this, I've done that. I've invested all of this in that. And go, well, what about my peace? And we're choosing peace over loyalty, which is really interesting. So once again, loyalty is not a bad thing. Giving your word, giving your commitment is not a bad thing. And yes, if we can, we want to keep those commitments. We want to keep our word. But they're just showing me, where have you committed to things that are wrong for you? Where have you committed your loyalty to people or places or things that are not serving you anymore? And where do you have to go, it's okay to give myself permission to change my commitment? Because your first commitment needs to be to yourself. And now we're getting this change in perspective of like, whoa, okay, I need to think about me, because I value me now. I have self-respect now. I love myself now. And even if it hurts others, I have to make this choice. So they're giving us this permission to claim your power. Because once again, life is what you make it, literally. It literally is. You create your reality. So if you keep projecting, I need to sacrifice to keep my word, what are you going to keep doing? If you instead project peace, harmony, love, what do you think that is going to be doing? So, changing your word to make you rise, okay? Because some of these loyalties, some of these commitments that we've made, they're keeping you small. They're not letting you rise. They're not letting you become everything you've been meant to become. And they're kind of showing me like you've been keeping yourself small. And your soul's thrashing inside your chest going, I don't want to be small. I don't want to be small. I don't want to stay in this anymore. I want to break free. So they're like, this is your breakthrough moment. So break free. Break through. Now what channel next? You deserve to protect your peace. Now you see what all of this was really about. So we're getting the bigger picture. So remember how we were talking about the knot and how you had to undo a thread by thread? That's literally what we've been doing, okay? So remind yourself of this. Sometimes we're not going to see the big picture until the divine timing, until we've untangled all those knots. Then we can see, okay? So they're kind of going, this is where we come to this aha moment. Oh, wow, this all makes sense now. This all makes sense. I've been waking up to what's been in self-detriment, to what has been of detriment to me, to what has been keeping me safe and small, because I've been keeping me safe and small, right? Because what we believe, what we project comes back. The world is a mirror. So they're saying, do not blame others this week for this. Okay? Take ownership, responsibility. Oh, I did that. I created that. I attracted that. But we're not going to beat ourselves up for that. No, we were learning. We're growing. But we're like, whoa, okay, that's too small for me now. I've gained the knowledge. I've gained my power. So it's time to get the fudge out of here. And we're finally opening our eyes. Whoa, okay. That ain't for me no more. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to spread my wings. I'm ready to see. I've got wings. And they're showing me the dove. Unconditional love. Flying. Okay? So, fly. Love yourself so much you give yourself permission to fly. So what's coming in? Hope, majesty, greatness, love. It's unbelievable. Could you imagine that? What's coming in? Hope, majesty, greatness, love. I say it all again, okay? This is what's coming up next. It's here. You're claiming it. You're claiming this reality. Let this be for now. And you'll have all the answers soon. So I thought this was really interesting. So once again, maybe we're caught up in what do I do? What path do I take? Because once again, we might be in the knots, okay? And if that's where you are right now, because all of us are in different stages and different spots in our lives. So this message for you, okay? If you're stuck in the knots and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what choice to make. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know my direction. I'm lost. Let this be for now. All you need to know is you're going into hope. You're going into majesty, into greatness, into love. Now, I thought the word majesty was super interesting. Like majesty, okay? That's not a word we typically hear or use very often. So recognize the specialness that you're moving into, the glory, the majesty of your life. And remind yourself that that starts right now with your vibration. So if there's something you're obsessing about, you're worrying about, I don't know what to do, well, the more you feed into the energy, the more that's going to percolate, the more that's going to continue and feed and grow and expand. So once again, we're becoming very intentional about where we're placing our power, our vibration, our energy, our focus. So get out of that mentality as soon as possible, because you don't deserve to be in that. Okay? Yes, there's moments where we gotta feel what we gotta feel. So don't bypass by any means. Feel the overwhelm, feel the stress, feel that, honor it, and recognize, okay, my inner child is scared. So at that moment, don't just change gears. Honor your inner child and go, what's wrong? You're scared right now. That's okay. Give yourself a moment to honor the feeling. We're scared. Okay, well, what are we going to do with this? So they're showing me the reparenting that's happening is we're learning to work with those parts of us that are afraid, because we're learning we cannot strong arm these parts into willingness. You can't. You cannot force these parts that are scared, that are afraid, that don't know what's next into joy, happiness, love, the path you want to go to. You can't do that. You cannot force yourself, okay? So you have to have the compassion, the space, the honor. So I'll tell you what I mean. How do you approach a young child who is afraid? If you have a child, how do you address your child's emotions? If you yell at them, force them, how do you think that makes them feel? It's really funny because I'm just literally getting the flick of the bird there, where it's like, screw you. I'm mad. I'm upset. And you're not listening to me. So how do you think your own parts are going to react? How do you think your own emotions are going to react? They're going to build resentment. You're going to build resentment with yourself. It might project as resentment to others or to external circumstance, but that is all a mirror of resentment towards yourself. Resentment and anger you're feeling within. I'm not heard. So if that's a big theme in your life, I'm not heard, I'm not recognized, I'm not seen. I just want someone to see me, feel me, listen to me. Well, how do you treat yourself? Do you honor and hear yourself? So this week, we're going to wake up to parts of us that are afraid. They're scared. They don't know what's next. So you need to address these parts of you, these very beautiful parts of you. Your emotions are beautiful. So don't villainize them. Don't ignore them. Don't make them feel like they can't have a voice. Don't suffocate yourself. Give yourself that room to breathe. Air it out. Like they're literally showing me, like, air it out. Like dirty laundry. Air it out. You know? Let yourself feel the fear. right? So yes, we are cultivating this new perspective, this new lease on life, but that does not mean we negate negative emotions when they come up. And I even hate saying negative emotions, because it's like every emotion is valid. Every emotion is beautiful. It really is. Your anger is sacred. Your anger is beautiful. Your sadness is beautiful. Your sorrow, it matters. It's all to help you see yourself more clearly. And isn't that beautiful? It's not a negative thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing that you can feel so much, that you can experience the plethora of emotions that this human experience has to offer. So I'm really hearing, let things be for now. And that means those emotions too. Let them be. Let them be present. Feel it all. And trust and know you're going to have all the answers too. So this week, give yourself compassion, space, time. Okay? Give yourself time. You do not need to sort through everything right now. Thread by thread, right? We can't untangle the knot in one go. Thread by thread. So what they then was showing me was this story of Job. So if you are familiar with the Bible and that biblical tale of Job, it was quite the story. And they're kind of giving me this example of Job who lost everything, but then gained it all back tenfold. And that was exactly what they were showing me has been many of our experience, where we've gone through immense suffering. We've gone through immense pain. Maybe we felt like we lost it all, because they're kind of showing me someone who's like, I don't know why my life was so hard. And it's funny because as we start honoring our lives and our journeys and our stories, and once again, bringing all those parts to the light, it's almost like we have this moment of like, wow, that was a lot. Like, that was really hard. And that was insane that I lived through that. And I went through that. And I conquered those challenges. And it's really interesting because throughout that journey, many of us might have been like, why? Like, why am I having to go through this? Why am I having to have this arduous experience? Like, they're kind of just showing me like one thing after another, and the devastation and loss and the pain and the suffering, and maybe we even held resentment with source, and we're going to get into that. But they're kind of showing me all the things behind the scenes that we're waking up to, the lessons we had to learn that our journey gave us. And not only the lessons, but the experiences, the emotions, the depth, the soul's chosen path, and then also the karmic implications, right? Because many of us are starting to understand we have many lifetimes that we have experienced here. And with that awareness, the karma that has been playing underneath the scenes. And they're just showing me like some of us had no idea the karma that was playing out, and the lifetimes of pain and suffering that we were healing in one lifetime. And they were showing me the choice, because they're showing me like there was a choice here before you, and you chose to heal it. Your soul chose to heal it, but you also of your free will chose it. Because they're kind of showing me how the soul, before it incarnates, will have a little bit of this plan, This is what I'm going to experience. This is what my goal is in this lifetime. But we have free will. So once the soul enters the body and we're in the human experience, that free will is activated. So yes, there's going to be soul journeys and soul paths and things that are destined for us, but we also have the choice to participate in that or to not. So people who are living misaligned with their soul's path is because they've chosen that. But if we choose to listen to the soul and take that path, then we're living that path. So that is what we chose. We chose to keep choosing ourselves. We chose to keep taking the soul path. And so they're showing me like we're starting to wake up to all the underlying reasons of why we went through such hardship. And the story of Job comes in because it's like he didn't know that he was being tested. He didn't know the arrangement that God had, right? And then it was like, oh my goodness. Then the tenfold comes in. He was blessed tenfold. And it's super interesting. So let's read what I wrote here. So learning to trust that all the good you've done is coming back to you tenfold. And this is when Job came in. Suffering and losses were great, but you're ready to receive now. You've passed the test, the one where you put your heart first, because you did every time. The test of the heart, integrity, finding your own way, and now it's yours. You're no longer in fear. You're no longer in fear of madness, of chaos. You're safe in your own vibration. And you have been safe all along. Knowing it now in your heart, that peace and joy are yours, that it shall last, that you are enough now, feeling the deservingness in your heart, letting go so you now can be free. Okay, this was beautiful. So once again, we're recognizing the journey, the toughness of it, and realizing, wow, okay, that all was really testing me as to what path I was going to take. And it's really interesting. So once again, we had that choice before us to live in harmony with our soul, with our heart, with love, with integrity, or not. And each time we chose that. Each time we chose ourselves. Each time we chose our heart, our authentic path. And that is what has brought us here. And now everything we lost is going to be regained tenfold. Okay? And this is what's so beautiful is all these blessings are because you're willing to give them to yourself. You're finally willing to receive. So this is what they were showing me is now all the fear dissipates of sabotage, of something coming in to disrupt you. It's like, no. I've worked too hard to feed into that anymore. I'm living in my own vibration of love, of integrity, of peace. And remember last week, there was this huge awareness of living in your own vibration, creating your own authentic frequency. And you're not in anything else. You're so in your vibration that nothing can touch you anymore. So even when things come in from the outer world that try to disrupt you, you're like, no. No, I'm in my peace. And you're recognizing once again your power and how that peace and love and joy is yours. And it will last because you're ensuring it does. And this reclamation of your deservingness, of your worth. And you're letting all of the worry, all of the fear, all of the chaos go, because that's no longer your reality. So you've raised your vibration, and now you're going to walk your own path. And it was interesting because they said, walk your own path, a convergence of many into one. Now, this is super interesting because a lot of us, they're kind of showing me the dabbler. Dabbled here, dabbled there, dabbled here and there, everywhere. And it's like, I don't really know. Like, they're just kind of showing me a seeker, like trying to find their path, right? And that self-discovery. And now you're bringing all the paths that resonated into one path. And it's this convergence of everything you love in one place. And it's funny because they're kind of showing me the mind being blown a little bit, because it's like, I didn't think I could bring all this together. I thought I had to separate these things. And it's like, no. All parts of you need to be recognized and honored and heard. And they're all going to come together into your unique path. And it's so beautiful because many of us believed we've had to sacrifice parts of ourselves, parts of our identity, parts of our joy. And they're like, no. You're going to live your heaven on earth, my friend. So you're going to bring it all into one, into your singular path and experience. So it's beautiful. So from there, we have getting even with Source. All you resented, not receiving, is ready for you now. This is so interesting. So we got to talk about this. So some of us have felt like that dangling carrot analogy, where it's like you're constantly chasing and you're like, I can see that carrot and I want it, and you just won't give it to me. And that's exactly how many of us have felt throughout the journey. And the universe is like, it had to come in divine timing, when you were ready for that carrot, when you weren't desperate for that carrot, when you knew that carrot was coming. And it was almost like all the things we had to learn before we were given the carrot was necessary. And we're seeing that now. So now all this resentment we might have built with the universe, we're setting it free, because we're going, oh, now I see the big picture. I see why I needed to learn all of this first before I could take that carrot. And it's interesting because now that you're ready, now that you've learned, now that you've taken your power, your deservingness, your worthiness, you are receiving it all. Everything you resented the universe for not giving to you. So unconditional love is here. And that's what's so beautiful, is like all this awareness is dropping in. It's like, it is here. Everything you thought you couldn't have, that dangling carrot, it's like the universe is going, here you go, take it. And that's what's so cool. So what channeled was, unconditional love is here and you're ready to take it. Now you see the wisdom in the wait. It was all preparing you for blessings. So see how you can trust Source, the wisdom within, allowance of the heart, the time to clear the karmic debt, to learn to step into the light. Now all those debts are cleared. There is nothing to hold you back now. You're not on your own. You're free to fly. So this was so stunning and unbelievable, because once again, they're showing me the hard work is over. Like, it's like those dark days, they're over, they're done, they're complete. And for many of us who have been doing this work, the karma has been cleared. And they're just kind of showing me, like, your life is no longer going to be about suffering. It's no longer going to be about hurting or pain. It's like you've closed the chapter. And this is what's so miraculous about this wrap up here. We're ending this cycle, this year. We're moving into a new cycle. And in numerology, this is the year number 9. So endings, closure. And that's exactly what we're seeing. It's like we're closing the book on suffering, and we are ready to open a new chapter, a new start, a whole new book completely of your life. And the pages are empty. They're ready for you to write. And so we're moving into the number 1 year next year in 2026. So fresh starts, new beginnings. And yes, it'll bring its own challenges. Every year does. But that being said, it's exciting because we've built so much self-strength and resiliency. And heck, if you could get through what you already have, my friend, how do you think you're going to be able to get through the next things that come up for you when you're so anchored in love, when you're so anchored in your authenticity, in your self-respect? Like, life is going to become like a breeze for you. And that's what they're really saying. It's like, just surrender to the breeze, surrender to the flow. There's nothing to worry about. It's all about where you're placing that focus and power. And now you're anchoring in unconditional love as your foundation, as your vibration itself. So what is that doing? You're free. Like, there's nothing that can hold you back anymore because you're not letting anything hold you back anymore. No karmic debt, no suffering, no old cycle. You're done. You've closed the book. You're creating a new one. You're free, okay? And this next year is the year of the horse, which is freedom. That's what it's all about. Freedom. Okay? So this is where we're getting this awareness of what are we choosing, right? So as this reminder this week, be very cognizant. Are you reopening the book of the past this week? Or are you going to open the new one? Are you going to choose love, ease, and grace? Or fear? Okay? Or the past for what is not working for you? It's time to cut the cord to that old commitment. It's time to forge a new vow to yourself, a new commitment to your new life. So it's quite stunning what is happening here. It is quite amazing what is happening here, because now we're also finding this beautiful equilibrium, this balance of living the human existence and the spiritual one. So they're showing me once again this convergence of paths, because it's like I don't have to choose only the 3D experience, and I don't need to choose only the 5D experience. I can be a combination. I can be living in my unique vibration and creating my unique life, because they're kind of showing me how we've learned now. The human experience isn't to transcend out of being human. It is meant to be the experience as a human. So how can you find the balance of I am a soul, but I'm also a human? I walk that fine line between heaven and earth, and I bring that convergence. I am walking the line between, where I am both, and I honor all. So it's this beautiful balance, harmonization that's happening. And once again, it's bringing peace, because now all parts of you are welcome. You know, we can definitely get caught up in the ideologies of separation here, where it's like, I need to completely separate from this earth. This earth is bad. People are bad. Nothing's going well. There's darkness. It's like, well, yeah, but like there's also light, and there's always going to be a balance of both. So how can you make your peace? Make your peace, right? So some of us are going to be coming to this beautiful awareness, right? And coming to this full harmonization of self as a human and as a soul. And it's so beautiful. It's this perfect wrap up. It's this perfect ending. Isn't it? So honor your endings this week. Celebrate your successes this week. Honor yourself. Honor the toughness of your past. And then honor the woman, the man, whoever you identify, the person you've become. It's so important. So my friends, I am sending you all the love in the world. I hope this reading helps you this week. I hope its themes touch your heart. And I hope you just have the most wonderful holiday season, and sending you all my love and Happy New Year.